Welcome back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alex and Josh.
And it's that time again. We have now watched our second movies that we were assigned to watch. This time it wasn't much of a sentence. It was much more of like, good movies that we had to watch.
What's
No.
up? What's up?
That little nod, that little nod's rough. Well, Blake, since you seem to have a different opinion about your film, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so, Josh last time gave me Full Metal Jacket, a movie by Stanley Kubrick. The first movie I've ever seen by Stanley Kubrick. And, if you know me, I have a movie rule, okay? If a movie came out before 9/11, as a true patriot, I just don't really agree to watch those movies, okay? I just have a thing about it, this movie just confirmed it. I did not like this movie one bit. It was not good. Just not good. And part of it is because, like I said, that my rule of beforehand, maybe at the time that it came out, because this movie, for those of you neither of you have seen it, but for others listening who haven't seen it, this movie is kind of based around a squadron. To be honest, I don't even know who it's really based on. You know what I mean? Because it was just phenomenal. But it's kind of based around the time, at least, of the Vietnam War and soldiers getting ready to go out to war and then out in war for a little bit. But yeah, this movie, it started off kind of interesting. It was, it just goes right in. There's no explanation. There's no explanation the whole movie, to be honest with you. But it kind of just goes right into these kids and do being in with a drill instructor, like at whatever you want to call that, training bait. I don't know exactly what that's called. I'm blanking on the word, but the drill instructor, man, was that a character? He had some lines in it that got me. There's quite a few of those that I've heard before or repeated that I had no idea where they came from. Came from him. So he was quite the character. Unfortunately, he was not in the movie the whole time as he was the drill instructor. But other than that, yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio's character absolutely sucked. A monkey could have played his role. Just took nothing. A lot of racial slurs, just a lot of them. A whole lot of them. I would argue at least 17 too many. That's just my personal opinion. But the movie was just not good. It was not interesting. I couldn't really tell you exactly the plot. It's basically just following one, maybe, I guess you could say. Maybe you could say two people. Just their experiences with the war a little bit. The ending was so stupid, the way it ends. Just something happens, and then it's that's the end of the movie, and you're like, okay, well, at least, this movie sucked. It had a shitty ending, too. So, but it didn't drag on. It kind of just came out of nowhere, and you're like, thank you, it's over. So, yeah, Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, if you hear anybody who says they liked it, first off, you must have watched it when it came out and you liked it because you were stuck in that Vietnam War kind of times, so it's whatever. Anybody who watches this within the last, decade for the first time and says they like them, probably should not talk to him again because there's some things going on with that person that you should not be affiliated with. So, Full Metal Jacket. Did not enjoy that. Did not enjoy it at all. It's like a 5 out of 10, and about 4.5 of that is because of the drill instructor in the beginning.
That's fair. Hey,
Damn.
You know what? I wanted to give a final test to that pre 9/11, and hey, at least now you know. You know for sure.
I've known. No, I've known. I've known for sure for a long time.
That movie's very highly rated, so that's why I've seen bits and pieces of it when I was younger, and I just know that everyone loves it.
Yeah, like I said, if you were if you were alive during that time, then sure. Even then, it's still what are you doing? But anybody who watches that recently and still likes it is hey man, there's just too much racial slurs happening. There's just way too much messed up stuff. And I know there's gonna be people who are oh, the plot is war, the atrocities, all that stuff. Shut up. Just shut up. It's not good.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right. Well, Josh, do you want to go next?
I'll go. This has been the movie that I had was one that was on my to watch for a very long time, and that was Mad Max Fury Road. And I just got to start off with that I was slightly underwhelmed. I expected more, but I still like the film. And I'll kind of dig into that. It wasn't at all what I expected. Let's just go off with that. I thought it was going to be like a soul survivor movie about Max himself and, his car just being in this wild wasteland. And it more was like this soul survivor helps this group that is unluckily hopeful about life, basically. And a long, just kind of one-shot almost journey that has very limited cuts in it. And that's kind of just the movie. So that was not at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be just this guy in his car just having some crazy car crashing scenes of him just surviving these wild freaks. And I mean, you definitely get some of that, but it was a lot less about Max than I thought. So that was kind of a little off-putting, but not a bad thing, but just kind of off-putting that my expectations were that the entire time, especially everything I've seen about the film was around Max, when I feel like he really even wasn't all that in the movie. Visually, it had some great scenes for sure. Also, I felt like just the craziness of the characters were fun and unique, about just like the cult of all the boys. I forgot what the exact name of it was for the fucking like white skin boys, let's just say. I like yeah, I like the unique kind of factions and their vehicle choices. That was cool. And then also, of course, just the creepy inbred leader. What a guy by him. What a guy. However, there was some scenes where you can see that this focal point was definitely like, oh, we needed to add 3D in the theater at this moment. And that just looked awful. It looked really bad. It was like the steering wheel was coming at you, and it looked like almost PlayStation 2 graphics. We were going into the Flash territory with that movie, but this movie came out a long time ago compared to the Flash. Yeah, really the only main things I could say of it was that I thought it was funny that in a wasteland everyone is like really ugly and like rigid, and then somehow they pick like fucking top tier models for the girls. Somehow these girls are just the survivors in this apocalypse somehow. That was kind of funny, as well as seeing what's her name, that's Catwoman in it. Was weird. Yeah,
Zoe Kravitz.
And then really the only other thing was sometimes the line delivery. I get it was kind of like they're kind of almost made it felt like it was trying to be almost old-timey movie line delivery with how the actors deliver their lines. But for me, I just didn't like it a lot of times. I mean, almost anytime Max spoke, I liked him less. So the less he spoke, the better. And that kind of went for almost anybody. Besides just the absolutely fucking weird ass characters chasing them the entire movie. But otherwise, I couldn't give it less than a 7 out of 10, and I couldn't give it more than a 7 out of 10. So still, obviously, I liked it. I just thought it would have been like an 8. So 7, I'll take it.
Interesting.
That's valid. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm glad you finally got to watch it. That's the main thing, because it's like we definitely felt that that's one that you should have at least watched once in your life, and now
it would
you
have been a
actually
fun
got
theater
to.
movie for sure.
Oh,
especially in
100%.
3D, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Definitely. That one scene went crazy.
yeah. Okay. Well, my movie was That Awkward Moment. It's the one that Blake assigned to me, and I'm not gonna lie. Well, what happened there, bud?
Nah, bro, don't go ahead. Don't lie.
When I was first assigned this and when I first saw it, I definitely was going into it thinking, man, this looks like it's going to be kind of one of those 2010s comedies that, just, throwaways. But I was pleasantly surprised by this, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. I think the main takeaway from this film that I wanted to highlight would be the dynamic between the three friends, Zac Efron, Miles Teller, and Michael B. Jordan. I mean, they absolutely have fire chemistry. It's believable that these guys grew up together, that they were friends. You know, it feels like a very organic kind of relationship there. And yeah, that honestly is what carried this movie. It wasn't anything special, like in terms of the plot or anything like that, but just seeing them together, act together, do some stupid ass shit in the movie, I was like, okay, you know, it was definitely worth a watch. Let's see, what's something else. I mean, it's like I said, it's a very basic premise. Guys make a pact not to get into a relationship with anyone, and you know, slowly but surely one starts to break, and then the other one follows. No one knows that each of them are you know, breaking their own rule, and you know, obviously it just starts to unravel after that, and they start to find out, and shit goes down. But you know, overall it was a nice film, but like I said, pleasantly surprised. I went into it thinking wasn't going to be anything more than a 5 or 6 maybe. I'm going to give it a 7.5. Okay. You know, it was a pretty good film, you know. Yeah, so I mean, when you have those three actors, I feel like that alone should have, like, in my head, I should have been like, okay, these guys are going to carry it to at least be a 7, right? But I know the type of movie it is, a romantic comedy. I was like, from 2014, how good could it really be? And you know, I don't think it was even rated that well. It's at 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That is tough. That is tough. I don't think it deserves a 22. It has 6.1 on IMDb. Well, I can kind of see that, but to me, this was a pleasant surprise. I'm you know, happy giving it a 7.5. So
hey man, I agree. When I got done watching it, I thought it was hilarious. I looked up and I saw that it was terribly rated. I was like, what are these people talking about? This movie was actually pretty funny. I enjoyed it. So you know, I'm glad that you had the same reaction as I do.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. All three actors killed it. And it did have a lot of funny moments, and some moments definitely are like, you know, like the jokes don't hit as well, but I'm like, I'm willing to overlook it, you know, like whatever. It's from 2014. Who cares? But yeah, that's my, you know, I can't really talk too much more about it because it is a really simple
movie.
It's
a simple movie. It's just, you're just there for the comedy. You know what I mean? It's not anything intense, but yeah. So there's those ones, and you know, we really like this series. It's fun for us to branch out and try new movies, so we're going to continue the series of giving each other new ones. So without, you know, Alex, you gave us the last movie review, so why don't you go ahead and start us off here?
Okay, so this time I have to pick for Blake, and let's see, Blake, have you seen the newest Nick Cage movie, Renfield?
No, I have not.
Okay, there you go, buddy. You are to watch that movie, Renfield.
Okay.
Because it feels like a kind of, like, in a weird way, the movie that you gave me last, like that awkward moment, it feels like this could be that for you, but you know, in a different way. You'll understand when you see it.
That's a Nick Cage like vampire film, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nicholas Hoult is in it as well.
In it.
Mm-hmm.
Random. Did you just watch this recently or something?
I watched it about a month ago.
Okay. Interesting.
Wow.
All right, Josh. You know, I guess I'll go since he gave me one, so I'll go for you. I'll give you a movie. You see, honestly, I was thinking about it, right? Because you gave me a movie you've never seen that broke my rule, and no surprise, it sucked. So I was like, do I just give him something bad? You know what I mean? Because I got two terrible movies.
It wasn't intentional.
Right, it wasn't intentional, but it's like, I had to watch the longest movie the first time, and then the second time, I got the worst movie. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that's 2 in a row that I feel like I've been screwed. So I'm like, do I just You know what I mean? Do I just be, on the attack since, And now I got a Nicolas Cage movie about vampires that, like, honestly, I don't think it got very good reviews. So, that's great. But no, I'm going to do a movie that I know when I first talked about this, you were like, oh, that's like next up on my list. You still haven't watched it, so you're just going to finally watch it. Good Will Hunting. I'm just going to have you do that one. We recorded a video, honestly, at this point, probably 6 months ago, in which I mentioned that movie, and I went back and listened to it recently, and you're like, oh, that's next up on my list. Here we are, like a half a year later, have not watched it. So, just watch it already. Just watch it.
All right. I'm sure I'll like it. Everyone seems to like it and love it.
It's his favorite movie.
True.
I know.
I do love it. I do love that movie.
All right. Okay. Well, Alex, I had a couple for you, but there's one that I really hope you have not seen because it will go on theme of what you gave Blake. And it's kind of funny that you gave Blake a vampire movie because have you seen Dracula Untold?
I have, yes, with Luke Evans.
Have you seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? God
I have.
damn it.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I have, yeah.
Is there a Twilight film you haven't seen? I'm just joking.
You have not seen the 4 Twilight. Yeah, I was going to say, you have not seen all 4 Twilight.
I think I have.
No,
I think I have, yeah.
Sequel. God damn it, man. I had that one ready in the bank right there.
Boys, what are we doing?
Sorry.
Not like it's October. What are we assigning vampire movies for?
Just wait for October, baby. Just wait for October.
Okay. Well, Alex, I'll give you a good one. The one that I like, since I know you like horror films. Have you seen Smile?
No.
Then Smile is your movie. That's one I think you will actually like. And that's one of my higher, I think almost like maybe second highest rated scary movie. So.
All right.
Interesting.
There we go. We all have our next one. Our reviews of the movies we just watched. So that's going to do it for this video. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what your thoughts are on either the movies we've seen or the movies that we're going to be watching. And, if you like the series like we do, come back and about a month or so, we'll be reviewing the 3 we just got and giving out new ones. So we'll see you guys in our next one.